If you come to this program, I can promise you a transformational experience. Strategic leadership at the top. What does that require? The executive perspective, executive acumen, and what's possible. The first part of the program for any executive is to broaden and deepen perspective. When we think about perspectives, what do we think about? You want to build your perspective at 3 levels. First is at your own individual level, to be able to look at the world around you. Next, we come to the enterprise, to be able to integrate the enterprise beyond the functional aspects that we talked about. From the enterprise, you have to be able to move into your value chain or the systems that you're embedded in. Without a proper perspective around those systems, you really can't build acumen, nor can you imagine the possibilities. After perspective, we build up the acumen and skills required to be an effective executive. We'd like you to think like an entrepreneur, be an owner. Leading and influencing strategically requires you to be an entrepreneur. We'll look at several case studies. We'll look at great examples, inspirational examples of those people who not only influence themselves, but through that process influence the enterprise and the world. To think, act, and influence like an entrepreneur. Once you have your perspective and your skills, imagine the possibilities. Possibilities for yourself as a leader, possibilities for your enterprise, and all of those people who work with you. But most important of all, if you can work your system, if you can influence your system, if you can lead your system, imagine the possibilities for the world. And that ultimately is the value proposition of TEP, that through yourself, your enterprise, and your system, you influence the world. The executive perspective, executive acumen, and what's possible. The trick for leadership at the top is the ability to put them all together. We put these concepts together into a concept that we call Mickey in the Middle. Mickey in the Middle essentially asks you to appreciate your core, understand your core, and then create possibilities from your core. Of course, you're wondering what this phrase Mickey in the Middle means. You have to attend the program for that. I think learning is most powerful when you're inspired. It's inspiring because of the stories we tell, but most of all, it's inspiring because we come together as one unit, learners and faculty. We teach together in integrated faculty teams in the classroom. No other program does it. But most important of all, we all learn together, and that's the inspiring part. That's the promise of the executive program.